Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Mind Your Newness channel. I'm Apostle Steve, and today I want to share with you an essay that I wrote on my Substack, which you can check out in the link below. Don't forget to follow me there on Substack as well as follow me here on YouTube. Hit that like, hit that subscribe, hit that super button, and if you feel led, send me a gift. But without any further ado, I want to get into the essay, and I titled it, They Love Your Art That You Despise. Now, I've found this one undeniable fact to be true. People don't buy art they like, they buy art they love. Now, if you've been on this channel, I've said it over and over again. It is true. I'm going to say it again. People don't buy art they like, they buy art they love. People who spend their money on art, music, or creative experiences do so to fulfill a need very deep down within them. They engage in art to make a connection with their spirit and their soul. These types of connections are hard to measure and they're hard to define. You can never know for certain how people will respond to the works of art. What one person may find delightful, another will find grotesque. The first time I truly noticed this, I was shocked. I happened to be an avid Pablo Picasso fan, and I was totally confused and still am when I came across someone who truly hated his art. I thought that everyone loved Picasso's work, and it never crossed my mind once that someone would not. This gives credibility to the old saying, one person's floor is another person's ceiling. Now, if you're an artist or creator, you've likely noticed sometimes that what you hate about your work is what some people love most. You may not care much for the things you created with ease. You did it with little effort and shrugged it off as no big deal. In your moment of playing around and having fun, you didn't consider it serious work. Art made in this fashion may end up in a sketchbook or drawer, not because it has little value, but because it was playful, it was fun, and therefore it didn't fit the description of serious work. When there's no deadline, client expectations, or professional obligations, the pressure to perform is removed. These conditions allow the artist to put their guard down and allow for a relaxing experience. Under these conditions, it's easy to understand how artists can take their work lightly. We even give them names like studies, sketches, or warm ups. But what if the world saw them as something more meaningful? Now, within my own creative practice, I'm amazed by how many people are more interested in the work I fool around with over the work I feverishly obsess over. This happens often. I would invite people to my studio or send pictures to potential collectors, and to my surprise, the work I feel may be rejected becomes what they fall in love with. This tends to happen religiously. When I was a freelance graphic designer, it was standard practice to send no less than 3 versions of a design to a client. Do you want to take a guess what normally happened afterward? Okay, the design I put the most effort, thought, and hard work into was the one that rarely got picked. Now, my professors in art school, they used to warn us to never send a design to a client you absolutely hated because that's the one that they're going to go with. Has this ever happened to you? And if it has, I believe I know the reason why. Artwork that's easy for you to execute is often taken for granted. It's produced from a place of authenticity and love. When you set out to make something and enter to a state of flow, you understand what I'm suggesting. Flow is when you're free and you have the courage to take risks and are unhindered in your creative process. There's a sense of ease and little to no resistance, so it doesn't feel like work. Artists may not fully appreciate the value in the work created under these conditions because there's no struggle, no pain associated with it, and the idea or concept may have seamlessly come together. Design, color, composition, those things under these conditions seem to happen automatically. And these factors could tempt you to devalue your work due to the ease of its conception. Though the goal of all accomplished artists is to produce work in this manner, we tend to associate struggle with success. We tend to justify the reward of a skill or outcome based on its level of difficulty and complexity. So, what is the key to creating great art? People will fall in love with. So, what is the key to creating great art that people will fall in love with? I believe the answer is simply don't set out to create a great piece of art. Now, I know that logic sounds backwards, but hear me out. When you try to create great work, you begin thinking. While you're thinking, the brain is calculating what's acceptable or not. You'll consider what's liked and disliked. Your mind will come up with all sorts of reasons to avoid innovation, to protect you from rejection and disappointment of failure. That's where the problem begins, and that's where authenticity dies. It's not because of the intention, because there's nothing wrong with desiring your work to be great. We fall short of our true greatness when we fall short of our true greatness when we trust in the desires of an audience rather than what's in our heart. To put it more plainly, we fail our true potential when we allow metrics, data, and the market to determine what we create. This is not to say that we shouldn't consider information. We should we just shouldn't let it be the driver of our creativity. People can sense authenticity in your art. And when are you most authentic? When you're not trying to be. Authenticity shows up when you follow your heart and lean into your intuition. When you create with purpose, you capture something unique. Following what's popular simply sells yourself short. Creating from your heart teaches and inspires. This is how we get traction in our creative practice and differentiate ourselves from the crowd. Imagination can be both challenging and scary. We don't often trust our inner voice as we should, and even if we do, there's no guarantee that what our inner voice reveals will be received. After all, great ideas, no matter how novel, can be rejected, and that hurts. However, taking the risk of revealing a vision from your spirit has life changing potential. This can influence someone to buy into your vision and spread it further than you've ever imagined. So, the next time you're in your creative space, playing around, having some fun, and just making stuff for the heck of it, don't be so quick to push your work off to the side. The art you overlook might be the great masterpiece someone is searching for. I hope that this video helped somebody. If you like this video, please like, comment, and share. And don't forget to subscribe. Hit that like, hit that super button, hit that hype button, and share this video with a friend. I love you all. Yahweh bless you all. And I will talk to you all again